Hello and welcome to the Arron Football channel. Now that sounds very weird coming out of my mouth. I didn't think I would ever be able to have the confidence to be able to do this, but I'm really looking to put a platform out there that offers insight and discussion to football and, build up a community that allows people to come on here, watch the videos, have a wee discussion afterwards, and even go to the pub and have a wee discussion with our pals about the game that we love, and I'll look at the good and the bad, and everything that's in between. And I'm really looking to build something here that gives people something to go on to, just something to get away from life, and you know just fall in love with the game that they know so well. So yeah, that's what we're looking to do. So if you're looking to get involved with this and you enjoy today's video, then please subscribe to the channel. I'm looking to build this and see where it takes us. I don't know which way that will go, but we need to start somewhere. So yeah, if we enjoy this today, please subscribe to the channel below, and yeah, we'll get this started today. Now, hopefully, as the channel grows, I'll get a wee bit better at presenting on here and giving my thoughts and insight on the game. So we just need to run with me stuttering and saying every 2 seconds at the moment. But yeah, so for today's video, we are going to look at the tactical setup of Arsenal, and this is something that I'm quite clued up on. I think I'm quite clued up on. I support Arsenal, and I have done since I was a wee kid. I know I'm a Scotsman, so I really should be supporting somebody up here, but it's the way I've been raised since I was a wee guy. So yeah, this is the team that I've followed since a really young age, and yeah, this season I think they've got they've changed it up a wee bit, and I want to give my insight and see what people think of it. So yeah, let's get it started. So on paper, this is how I see Arsenal's strongest team, and the team I think Arteta will look to employ against most opponents in the Premier League and in Europe as well. I mean, you're up for debate with the goalkeeper. It could be Ramsdale or Raya, but I put Ramsdale in because he's been there longest, and I mean, we'll see, how that battle for the number one position develops. But I put Ramsdale in there for now. But yeah, it's just as a basis of how the formation works and things. As you can see, we've got a back four here of Zinchenko at left back, Gabriel and Saliba as the centre backs, and Ben White at right back. Then got Declan Rice as the number 6, with Kai Havertz and Martin Odegaard as the number 8s, with Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus and Bukayo Saka as the front three. Okay, as you can see here, I've changed around some of the positions here and given some arrows of the areas of the pitch that these players are looking to operate in here. So we'll start with the back three with Saliba in the middle here. That's, the kind of the base of that back three, and is the most solid defensively and is comfortable with and without the ball. So he's going to be in the middle for Arsenal for quite a wee while. And yeah, so he's going to operate between Gabriel and Ben White and can shift to both sides to help either out and start off the attacks for them. With Gabriel, he, of being left footed, operates on the left hand side, and I would say not being as comfortable in the ball as Saliba, so is often receiving passes from Saliba or Zinchenko to start to facilitate the play at that left hand side. He will often operate on that left hand side and push up slightly, but I think with Zinchenko and the other players on that side covering that area, he mainly stays more defensive than his other centre back at the other side, which is Ben White. He has a slightly different role to Gabriel, in which he has a little bit more licence to run forward, as shown by the arrow here. This is to help Saka and Odegaard and form those triangles further up the pitch so that opposition players are just unable to get the ball off them in those areas, and they can play those penetrating passes through to the likes of Saka to create opportunities for Arsenal to score. Next, you've got two of the arguably the most important players for Arsenal in this setup going forward. With Zinchenko operating on the left hand side, he has so much freedom to receive passes, even mostly at the left hand side, but even at the right hand side of midfield. He rarely operates in a defensive back four. He always drops in to receive the ball either off the goalkeeper or centre backs, receives it wide with Gabriel, facilitating that area, pushes forward to then progressive passes to the likes of Havertz and Martinelli up in those areas on the left hand side. But yeah, he does step into the right hand side to receive plays. He's so comfortable on the ball and always looking to progress the ball forward, and he's really crucial for how Arsenal want to play going forward. Now, with the addition of Declan Rice, he mainly operates on the right hand side and in the middle for Arsenal's midfield, with Zinchenko facilitating kind of all over the midfield, but mainly at the left hand side. With Rice being able to sweep up a lot of play and recycle the possession, he has given Arsenal a lot more solidity in the midfield that they never really had before. Thomas Partey did offer that to a point, but I don't think he's got the legs that Rice has and being able to cover the space that Rice does. I think Rice comfortably is the most distance covered in this Arsenal team. So yeah, we can see here that Rice is looking to operate, receive the ball off of the back three there, and helping form triangles with White, Odegaard and Saka on that right hand side, but mainly operates centrally, doesn't often come wide, with White providing that width on the right hand side, so mainly operates in the middle and kind of tends to go to the right hand side to help out when progressing the ball forward in that area. Now, with Kai Havertz's position, he hasn't had the best of starts to his Arsenal career, and understandably, people are becoming frustrated with how he's playing and saying that Arsenal are a man down when he's playing. Some of that could be true, but I think in time his role could be really important for Arsenal and how they want to play in that area of the pitch. Shown by the arrows here, he's looking to move out into the left-hand side to receive passes there and facilitate play to allow Martinelli to either go forward or cut inside to get shot creating actions off in that area of the pitch. As you can see by the forward arrow as well, I think this is why Arteta has brought him in, to make those penetrating runs into the box. That's what he's known for, and I think in time, hopefully, he's able to provide that for the team. As I don't think anyone in the Arsenal setup can really offer that attacking input in that area and arriving at the edge of the box. I think going forward with Martinelli and Saka on the wings and Zinchenko and Rice pushing forward from the back of midfield, Havertz will look to attack the box, and I think with crosses coming in, will look to utilise his heading ability. People will probably forget or maybe not realise that Havertz is really good in the air, and a lot of his goals at Chelsea did come from crosses into the box and him heading it in very well. He's very, very good at heading the ball, and I think that is something that Arsenal have been missing. They've not got a lot of height going forward, and mainly with number nines like Haaland and things now that can pretty much throw their hand at anything. He's just that good that you need that kind of aerial presence and that option going forward. And I think Havertz can give that to Arsenal with his height and his heading ability. Now, we've touched on Martinelli briefly there when talking about Havertz, but his role primarily is to attack the space on the left hand side and really frustrate the fullback and try and attack and get to the byline and get crosses in. But you often see him get past his man at the byline and attack the space in the box, or he'll cut inside, try and make those triangles with Havertz and Jesus and things, and and attack the space at the edge of the box. He's got a great shot on him on his right foot, so this is a real good outlet for Arsenal on that left hand side with him cutting in and as well attacking the space out wide as well. Now with Bukayo Saka, I would say is Arsenal's main man going forward, and I think many would agree with me saying that. He's just so great in his link up play and his pacing behind. It's just so difficult to defend against for any defender. As you can see by the arrows here, he is looking to be similarly attacking the byline like Martinelli at the left hand side. He's not as comfortable, I would say, on his weaker foot, but is still absolutely capable of attacking that space and providing crosses in that area. He also, with him being left footed, cuts in so often to provide shot creating actions and passes into Jesus' feet or help him link up with Odegaard on that side to provide that attacking impetus for them. Now with Odegaard on that side, he mainly operates and facilitates on that right hand side. You rarely ever see him come into the middle and come over to the left hand side, with there's been so crowded over there with the amount of players in that area. So he's often forming triangles with White, Rice, and Saka as well. He is so great on the edge of the box. He's very clinical and precise with his passes, often playing in the likes of Ben White and Saka to put those crosses in for Arsenal. Now Jesus is a player that can frustrate some, and people think that his output isn't good enough, but what he offers the team in spatial awareness and receiving the ball and progressing them up the pitch is unrivaled, I think, to anyone else in the squad in that position. Always looking to receive the ball from the two midfield anchors in Zinchenko and Rice. He's able to progress the ball comfortably to the other midfield players around him, namely progressing the ball over to the left-hand side where he often operates in Martinelli's position, with Martinelli then coming inside to, provide that attacking fluidity and a different option for them going forward. And of course, he's sometimes rarely attacks the box, and frustratingly so as an Arsenal fan. You would like to see him attack that space a little bit more often, but again, what he does for the team in other ways with his dribbling ability and able to progress the ball and have other people attack the space in the box is so crucial for them going forward. Now I'm going to look to chuck in some players here that I think can slot in similarly to the players that are shown on the screen just now, but might offer something slightly differently to the team. So we'll start off with someone that I think would slot in quite comfortably into Gabriel's role with the name of Kivior. He would operate very much the same as how Gabriel would, kind of opening up spaces on the left hand side but not progressing too much forward as Ben White does, as we discussed already, but seems pretty comfortable on that left hand side, and with him being left footed, pretty much would operate the exact same role that Gabriel would, and is a good option to have in that area of the pitch for them. For Ben White's position, we would normally have had Timber operating in that position, but unfortunately he's out for the rest of the season. But you've seen at the start of the season that he was operating Thomas Partey there. Now I think with the inclusion of Declan Rice now, it limits Partey to a lot of minutes in midfield, and Arteta was, I think, as the media were kind of putting out, experimenting with different players in different positions, and this was certainly one of them. And I agree that I don't think it's quite worked. I just don't think he's got the legs anymore to operate in that position, because Ben White, full of energy, running up that right hand side, you wouldn't see Partey, operating in the same positions as what Ben White is, and with him being so crucial to that right hand side, Partey just can't operate in the same way. So he would fill in for Declan Rice's position quite comfortably, but I think with Rice being so important for Arsenal, I don't think Partey's going to get many minutes in that area. Someone that I do think will operate at both sides will be Tomiyasu. So in Ben Wright's role, I think he would be quite comfortable progressing the ball forward and running and making those runs. Not as well as Ben White, but can still offer that, attacking impetus on that side. And from being naturally right and left footed, he can operate in Gabriel's position at that side. And even in Zinchenko's position, initially at the back four and then coming into midfield, but I just don't think his ball playing ability is as good as anyone really in the back line. So his minutes will be limited in those areas, but certainly a good option for Arsenal going forward. Okay, so going into the midfield, you've got the likes of Jorginho, which I think namely will be helping. I don't think you'll ever see him operate in Rice's position. I think Rice will play the majority of games, but this will be namely the role that he operates in, of him being, that kind of deep line playmaker. And maybe even, I think it will be, maybe in lesser games and cup games and things like that, might see him playing Rice's position, and he'll be able to do that comfortably. Just he's not really got the legs, I don't think, to cover for people. So he would probably have maybe like a party or maybe a Tomiyasu play in Zinchenko's role to offer that, that defensive solidity at that side. But I think he'll do a job for Arsenal and bring out a sort of calmness and be subbed on quite a lot, I think, in games that Arsenal try to close out and are a bit tight at the end of games. But will be a valuable asset, I think, for them going forward. Now into the forward areas where Arsenal have slightly more options and a lot more fluidity, as you might not think, but the players on the bench can operate in quite a few positions. Bukayo Saka, I don't think anyone is going to dislodge his position, and I can't really see anyone coming on and affecting the game as he would on that side. Similarly with Martin Odegaard, you could possibly have Vieira come in and operate in that position. He's looked a lot better this season, as he had, quite a poor first season by his standards. But I think what Arteta is looking to do is operate him in Havertz's position at this side and not be as, kind of attacking the space at the box, but more receiving the ball on that left-hand side and helping them progress play, through those areas and through those channels on the left-hand side. And it will be useful, I think. I think he will get quite a lot more minutes and a lot more rotation. I think Havertz will not be nailed on starter, even though Arteta, I think, would be looking to get him, up to speed. But I think with the growing pains that Havertz is going through just now, I think Vieira will be utilised a lot more in that position and could be very useful going forward. Okay, now someone that could operate, or a couple of players that could operate in multiple positions on that side, one of them being Trossard, could come in to Havertz's position here. Obviously, with Havertz as well, and probably Fabio Vieira, they're not as defensively minded, but I think with a lot of cover at that side, they'll be absolutely fine. And Arteta is looking for them to just facilitate pushing out wide and going forward anyway. And I think he's great. It would be great at that side. And I think he operated in one of the games earlier in the season in this area. I think with the options of Vieira in that area, I think he will be mainly used as a rotation option for Martinelli and operates similarly. He's much more comfortable on both feet, to be fair. So if we line up at this of being able to link up with Havertz, he'll be able to do a job there, and he is a very good player. Much more technically profound, I think, than Martinelli, and better in link up and things. So he'll certainly be used in a lot of games, and hopefully a lot more attacking output for him. He got a lot of assists last season, but I think Arsenal fans will be looking for him to get a few more goals in important moments for them. Almost the forgotten man for Arsenal is Emil Smith-Rowe, which I think can comfortably play on the left wing with him being so direct, and a similar player to Trossard in a way that he's very comfortable on the ball, but just not got that pace to attack the byline as Martinelli would, and would probably be looking to cut inside quite a lot. So I think Martinelli will play a lot of games, and because he's able to do both ways of playing in that position. But I don't know if Arteta just has too many options in that area. But what I think with Smith Rowe, and I think Arteta maybe just has too many options in that area, if I take Havertz out here put Martinelli back in, swap those two over. I think Smith Rowe could be a real asset in that area of the pitch. From being so comfortable and creative on the ball, not having a lot of pace, and is very good at attacking the space at the edge of the box. I've seen that, a couple of seasons ago before he got an injury. He was very good at running into space and attacking the ball at the edge of the box and just being there to link up with his players on that side. I think it's an option that Arsenal could really utilise, but we'll wait and see what's in store for him. He doesn't really look to have a look in the team anymore. There's a lot of options now in that area, and Arteta isn't really playing him, so we'll just see how he gets on going forward. You've also got the likes of Reiss Nelson, who I don't think many people think that he is quite capable of performing at Arsenal at the highest level, but I think he can certainly do a job. Probably not on the right hand side. I don't think he's as comfortable there, but I think with Martinelli coming out, Nelson could offer a much similar game to him, being able to attack the byline. He's very pacey and very tricky on the ball, and can still cut inside like many of the options out there as well. But I don't think it's someone who's going to get a lot of minutes anyway, to be honest. So again, we'll see what his future holds. It might be an option going forward, but I think there's people quite ahead of him in the pecking order at the moment. So on to the striker position, and there's really only one person that can get subbed in for Jesus here, and that is Eddie Nketiah, who has done so at the start of the season already and performed quite well, and does a similar job to Jesus, just not as comfortable on the ball, and is more of, I know he's smaller, but it's more of a hold-up striker, can bounce the ball off of the midfield, but isn't really looking to get wide and attack the space, is much more inclined to kind of poach in the box and go into the box and wait for balls to arrive for him there. Appreciates the link-up and still does try to link up with his teammates, but he's just an out-and-out goal scorer and wants to get as many goals as possible, and is constantly looking to get into the box. Just a little unlike Jesus, so can be utilised when Arsenal are really trying to get a goal and need an extra man in there to attack the space. But I think him and Jesus will actually share quite a lot of minutes this season, and maybe Jesus having about 2-3 thirds of the games, and Nketiah coming in for some of them, but he'll be a real good asset for Arsenal and score quite a few goals as well, I think. Alright, so that was my breakdown of Arsenal's tactical makeup, and yeah, I'm looking to do those kind of things more often and for different teams. So if anyone has any ideas of teams that you want me to break down and look at how they set up tactically and the structure and things, then let me know down below, and we'll look to get those videos out as soon as we can. If you like today's content, please give me a like and subscribe down below, and we'll look to get sort of similar content out very soon, as well as some other things that we're looking to bring to the channel going forward. Alright, thanks again, cheers, bye bye.